from the 2-star restaurant Hisa Franko in Kobarid, Slovenia, goes with the flow and serves you food with no restrictions, no limitations.
The afternoon session of Eating the Gap has only just started, and how interesting and inspiring it already has proven to be. And it's going to be like that for during the whole afternoon, you can be sure of that. Talking about healthy food in this afternoon session, and one of the people that know a lot about that topic is Anna, who you see here already. Anna, how are you doing?
Well, I'm amazing. I'm in a rainy day today, surrounded by a forest that is going to sleep slowly. There are orange-red colors outside that are really strikingly beautiful.
Yeah.
And I try to cheer up when I see the nature so beautiful around me, because Slovenia is in a lockdown in this moment.
Yeah, well, here it's in Belgium, it's a semi-lockdown, so I feel your pain. What can cheer you up is food, good food, and especially healthy food as well. Why your focus on healthy food exactly?
Well, honestly, healthy food is a good food. I believe that you can measure good food through where the food comes from, how the food or the basic ingredients of the food has been growing, who is the person who is growing them, how he feels the land, how he treats the land. And I really believe that knowing this chain very well, not only for a chef, but also for everyday consumer, is very important. Because I believe that healthy food starts actually at the beginning, and this is by the farmer.
Yeah. Has it always been like that for you, that healthy food is like top of mind?
It has always been like that. You know, I have a mother who is super into healthy food. I had a grandmother who was actually very Mediterranean from a Croatian part of Dalmatia, and completely into what the nature gives. This is what we are eating. And I remember my growing up moments with my grandmother, when I had to, in the late afternoon, work the garden, which was overlooking the sea, and then practically pick our dinner. And later on, when I started dating Walter and I met more his family, I understood his family is following exactly the same philosophy. So Walter's parents, till today, they are close to 80. They still work their gardens, and they eat only what the garden is giving to them. So you would never see them buying a salad or a tomato. But when the tomato is gone in the garden, there is no more tomato. And I believe for a Slovenian, and Slovenia is one of the greenest countries on the world, not only how green it is, because it's really green, but also because we forage, we have gardens, we live from the land, we feel it. We know when the moon is going up, when the moon is going down, and we know when to plant. Yeah. For instance, the story of biodynamic wines that is so strong in Europe or in the world in this moment can see Slovenia being one of the main characters, because, but not because of the new trend, because we have been always respecting the nature and its laws.
Yeah.
As a base.
If you have to make a definition of healthy food, what would that be for you?
Okay, I honestly believe that the food should never be too much processed, and you cannot over-process the food only when you know the quality of the ingredient you're working, and that's why I'm sometimes a little bit difficult, and I sometimes don't even want others to cook for me, because I like having that touch of almost raw food, because I know how amazing that product from the base is. And I believe that counting calories, measuring kilometers is completely wrong. I think we need to see, we need to understand, and then we will understand what the healthy food really is. It can be my farmer with the gardens in a high mountain. It can be my milk production in a high mountain. It can be a deer or roebuck coming from a forest. I believe that understanding the way people have been feeling the nature years ago, going back to the roots when we eat and the way we eat is gonna give us the answer what a healthy food for a particular part of the world is, because it's not the same. A healthy food in Africa is completely different from a healthy food in Kobarid / Socha Valley / Europe.
Yeah. Do you think that people just aren't involved enough in eating healthy, and that's the problem?
I think we eat too much. I really believe that the population is super overfed. It's overfed physically. I mean, I'm not talking because we all train now and we do gym and so on. So it doesn't have to do even about how we look like, because today, I mean, the world population is very beautiful because we care. But I really think that, eating healthy means eating exactly what you really need. Eating healthy means understanding which season we are in. So you probably skip the tomatoes in January and cherries in February. Eating healthy means knowing, how much you can take from the nature, from the garden, so the nature can still recover and feed you next year as well. But especially it means, and I would say in 2 words, understand the territory and understand the precise season where you are in. And of course, if I can say eating biodynamic or organic food, you know what is the difference in a vegetable which grew up in a biodynamic way or the one that is massively produced? Huge. There is the same looking vegetable that has completely different flavor, but also the healthy notes change completely.
And
support small farmers without abusive or intense agriculture would be my recommendation.
Yeah, and I think the role of a chef can be very important as well in that respect.
Well, as you have heard Juan Roca before, United Nations had started collecting chefs around them to give them a role of role model, if you want, because we are those who are exposed. We have a voice, and we can actually be, again, role models for people what a healthy food really is. And if a chef today is considered a kind of a rock star, I believe that the chef can use his fame now to teach people how to live in a better way, because that's not only good for us today, for our health status or whatever, but it's also important for the future generations.
Yeah, because like that, if chefs prepare a dinner in a restaurant, people get excited by what the food that's on the table, and they think, well, I might try that at home as well. Perhaps not as good, but I might try those ingredients, that approach as well, right?
But at the end, Hisa Franko is a kind of a storyteller about the traditions of the Socha Valley, about its food, about its farmers, about the faces. And sometimes we're having these same people who are sharing the products, the ingredients with us, coming to the table. They're like, oh, but I forgot how to eat the lamb, and I forgot how to eat the fermented cottage cheese, and I forgot that the cabbage cannot only be, turned into sauerkraut, but it can be an amazing vegetable for everyday life. So I think we are kind of a light at the end of the tunnel, and that it's a long tunnel for everyday people, not only about dining, but it's a whole philosophy of how we live.
Yeah.
And chefs have an important role in this moment.
Yeah, if there's one dish that you would make now to make people understand why healthy food is so important, what dish would that be?
Well, it really depends about where and how the season is. But we just, because my team is remaining or is still creative, even if we're in lockdown, we are trying to do a kind of the library of the products of the late autumn and winter product. So our life is gonna be much easier after that.
Yeah.
And we are doing also some trials. We are in a chestnut harvest in this moment. I'm talking about wild chestnuts because there is like a huge chestnut forest all around us. Yeah. And we actually realized the dish all completely based on the chestnut, that you can see a chestnut yogurt, a pure chestnut yogurt with a black chestnut, which is actually fermented chestnut, and raw chestnut, and chestnut honey.
A lot of chestnuts.
So
I get it. A lot of chestnut because it's the season for the chestnut at this moment, right? That's why you would prefer that at this moment.
But that's why what I'm saying, because it's about the seasonality. There are many other dishes, but what I'm saying, like, if you find so many different applications of chestnut, you can really eat chestnut in its season and substitute it to something that is not in the season in that moment. It's really important to know the techniques and know the applications you can do with one single product in so many different ways and have so many different satisfactions.
Okay, that's really cool to hear and very inspiring as well. Anna, thanks for joining us here at Eating the Gap, and have a great day.